This is more like the little kid in me that speaks with other children. See how I use the language this time. See, one of the things I realized a few minutes ago, because I'm not speaking my native tongue, but you realize that I mentioned this before about library builders, right? I'm not running on the same library I was. As a matter of fact, the library is always changing, right? Because it's not like a fire hydrant that's just sitting there static, right? In other words, the hydrant has like a 4 inch, what they call a 4 inch main. It could be a different size main, but most of the ones I ran across were 4 inch. What I know is a 4 inch main. Okay, so in other words, it's got a 4 inch pipe, 4 inches inside diameter. The water that is under pressure, right? It's got a valve holding back the water, but the water is under pressure, which is measured in pounds per square inch or pounds per sound inch, sound and light inch. So they have two words that they use, okay, in hydrodynamics, hydrocarbons, or just the flow of water, right? Flow of energy. And one is called static and residual, right? And you can see how this actually works in density and seeking the path of least electrical resistance, so that we're using the least amount of energy to perform what? The greatest amount of work. And that's known as the law of least effort, and that's why love is the law. Okay. Look, man. So when you're a 4-year-old kid, because that's what you are, then you already realize there is a natural built-in explorer. Right? So explorers that are built in with spirit as a teacher with the soul, leave them alone. Okay? Be a guide. Get to know the spirit. Get to know the soul. Who are you? Where you come from? What do you know about yourself? How are you doing? I love you too. Like a playmate. Well, you came through my portal. Where are you from? I'm from Galaxy XYZ. Right? And then play what we call a support function, just like Data does, huh? I do an administrative support function for your child. I'm just a guide, sweetie. I'm just here to help you along because I love you so much because you came out of me, right? So this is a love-based realm. You're now going to get love everywhere that you go. So all the little children that you get to play with are all experiencing what love is because their parents love them too. So they realize they were born out of love, which means all the children, everybody that is here, that is in this realm, are all experiencing what love is, and they're all on fire. You can meet all your relatives that are on fire. Wow, really? Yes, imagine that. That's called a normal realm, by the way. That's not a fallen realm. That's a rising realm with a rising sun. Remember that song? Who was it? Back in the 60s, all them groups, all them CIA groups. Not every one of them was CIA. There were 72s that were fighting on behalf of the cause. Azazel showed us one time, I believe her name was Martha Vandella, was a 72. Right, so in other words, here is a 72, which is a hybrid, okay? You know what 144 is, right? What's half of 144, right? 72, 72, 72. Now we're back to the 13 and 13. 26. 13 constellations. And so you see the relationship that 1 and 3 has with 4 as a tetrahedron, and why White Bear Clan Arcturians are 13, right? Because you had the 12 and the 12, and now you got 13 and 13, right? So I realized I just got done putting a post, because I don't tell a lie, just whatever. I use my heart and soul to communicate. So whatever comes out of my heart and soul is what I use this for. It just flows, just comes right out. Here it is, right? That's called an open library. Here, you want the data? I'll give you the data, you know? And that's what it is, because you realize when you're an eternal being, you have spiritual immunity whenever you come into an infected computer. Okay. That's because that's what it is. It's running on viral codes. You could think of it this way: somebody came in and hacked your planet. Okay. Or if you will, someone came in and hacked your motherboard. Well, I built this motherboard and someone came in and hacked my motherboard, my planetary motherboard. Yeah. So that's why if you go look at Michelle's website, and she'll say biohacker. So she knows what she's doing. She knows exactly what she's doing. We know exactly what we're doing. So the easiest way that I know how to do it is when eternal fire comes in, that's on fire, eternal fire, you can't hack that spirit. That's so much fire. You got to be running that kind of fire. So if you were running that kind of fire, then you'd be what we are. So if you are what we are, you are what eternal love is, which is eternal love that's on fire. That means it's like autopilot. So what it means is that anywhere that there are any consciousness traps, any nets, because you're a frequency modulator, right? Okay, so you're an antenna. So now you get into how the timeline wars work, phantom timelines work, frequency wars work, what it means to clear up DNA debris field in order to produce what? A clear channel. So I realized if, like, you wanted to think of this in the way they did it in World War II when they landed behind Normandy, you need a radio operator, right? Hey, base command. I'm here. I landed. Communications. Anybody that goes to war or is in a battle, whether it's spiritual or kinetic, knows that the single most important factor that's going to determine whether you win or lose when you're in a battle is communications. Their ability to read your mail. Actually, if they can get it before you get it, better. Which means, wow. That's called an intercept. Right. So now you understand why, if you're running eternal fire, hey. Because it's very difficult.